to help those who would like to start building their teams and us coaching with that if they would like that from us. But what we're saying to people also is if you've got someone who's building and running, which is only going to build your future and finance, what it also does, and I'm competitive, actually put up your hand if you're a little bit competitive. Not everyone is, but
not many
okay.
Canadians are, but 8 Canadians are.
True at all. You got to stop saying that. That's not true. That as competitive, if all of a sudden someone underneath me is starting to run faster than me, well, for me, that inspires me to go, Andrew, pick it up, because I've got to example for them.
Yes.
And so you have two choices to either then get, upset about that and just stop and give up, which I'm not built that way, or, and I hope you're not either, to go, that encourages me, I've got to start picking things up. So I love it because the energy is also flowing up and down around as we build this together, but it's not competition with each other because we're only competing against ourselves in the respect of what we want for our future. So we want that always coming through our communicate with people, that this is theirs to steward.
And you're theirs to steward and yours to support.
Exactly.
I think they're really great kind of keys to use in your language. I'm here to support what you want to create. So what are your goals? Even start to ask some of these people their why. This is a
100%.
really, really key part of helping someone become a manager, especially when early days, and you all know, because some of you were this, you get the pushbacks and you get the no's. And if they commit to these like action steps over the week, well, if you think about it, if they're going to do 5 a day for the next 4 days, they're probably going to get, on average, at least 10 of those will be like, no. Like if you think even more, it might be that they could be a no, and no to even the interest, like the next step of interest. And so you want to also be there to support them on the daily. If we're in an accountability group like this, on the daily, to be like, how was your day? Who did you reach out to? What was their response? Great, let's go again tomorrow. No problem. That's next. Who else is on your list? Now, when they get hey, yeah, they're curious, I don't know what to do next. Here's the 2 things you have an option to do. Great, let's make sure they're on the opportunity calls that are coming up this week. Now, North America has way more than we have access to here in Australia. We have a few key ones in Australia at the time zones that work for people. So what can we do to make sure that they're on that call? There's simple things like, even though they've invited them to the call, you as the leader might need to reach out to your person and put a reminder in your phone 30 minutes before that call. Text that person who knows they've invited that person, has invited that person, and say, have you reminded them of the call in half an hour? Like, this can feel elementary, but these are the basics to helping your people get to manager. And this is where leadership kicks in. Put a reminder in your phone, send a quick text message out to them. If they say, no, I haven't reminded them, shoot them through a text message that they can send on to their friend.
And can I just say, we have to fall in love with that process, because like for me as an example, I have the attention span of a squirrel. And so even though I'm a high output personality, so all of a sudden it's like, whoa, off. And so people in your world have short attention spans. They forget things quick. They've got kids, they've got this, they've got that. And so it's actually a gift to be able to remind them and go, hey, if you're available in 30 minutes, it's like, yes, thank you for reminding me. So you've got to work out what your posture is. My posture is I'm gifting them with the reminder of this rather than I'm hassling them and annoying them. Because if I don't do it, most people won't turn up because they've got so much on their plate. So I encourage you to make your decision on how you see it, because it actually helps empower you with that process.
Yeah. So on a practical level, what I'll have designed today is the invites again for our Monday night calls, North America time, Tuesday morning, Australia, and our Tuesday night calls, the opportunity call. I'm going to put the Zoom link in there, the time of it again. We're presenting both of those this week, so our picture. And then I will post in both the chats, the Facebook and the WhatsApp, language I would use for the invite, and then language we would use for the follow-up. We'll do that as well. And then you just remind your people of that by sending that through to them, and then they forward it on. So that's the first way you can support people in their early orders and getting people to even want to order. The second way that you can do it is you can say, let's get on a quick call with them. Once they've watched a video, because some of these people cannot turn up to these Zooms, once they've sent them, this is it info and a Zoom presentation, which you want to probably with your people not managers yet, you pick the one you like the best so far from our page, from our Living the Dream with X39 page. You pick one of those ones. So that means you got to put a little bit of time into watching one or two of them, three of them on fast forward on YouTube, but pick one or two and go, I like sharing this one. This is why I like sharing this one. Trust us when we say to you from our experience and our success, if people have watched a presentation before the phone call and the order, you are going to absolutely get an order from that phone call. If they haven't watched a YouTube presentation before the phone call, you're going to find yourself having to say, repeat a whole lot of information, try and nearly do a mini presentation, and then get to the price, unless this person is just so excited and ready to order. And if they are, then your job as a leader on that call is to pretty much try and upgrade them. If your person was able to get that person to a call, if that's appropriate, you might get to say, actually, let's talk a little bit more. Who else in your household are you patching? And can I suggest that the advanced package might be better? So these are the kind of ways that you can support your people to get to manager. There's barely anyone that's got to manager on our team without at least one or two of those phone calls being modeled by us. They don't necessarily need 4, but they often need just 1 or 2. Some haven't, some just run with it because they're just confident and bold. I look at Lisa and I'm like, she pretty much just ran. But Lisa heard me a few times, didn't you, Lisa? Like I was with Michael, and then you were happy to reach out to Kim, and then someone like Kim was amazing at just running forward as well, and she's had Lisa's support. So you'll find your way depending on the person. But any questions around the way you can support your people to manager? Questions, comments? We want to hear back from you in this meeting.
Don't all talk at once, please.
Actually, Vanessa, can I just ask the blue form with the links? I haven't got that in my Google Zoom. I don't know where it's Google Drive.
Yeah,
I don't know where
I can get that. Yeah, no worries. It's we shifted now because we've really started to prepare some information for Canada and America as well. So I'll just make sure it's all in the right folders. I'll do that admin today as well. So no problem.
Great. Because I was going to forward it to my new contact Simone. So she was keen, very keen.
That's awesome. Amazing. So listen, why don't you tell us, just put it in the chats if you don't all want to talk, or who are your 2 people you're working on? If you're not director yet, who are the 2 people you are working on supporting to get to manager? One on your left, one on your right. That's how you're going to get to director. Why don't you just put the names down, or quick message? Tell me if you don't have anyone yet, for example, then because they're just like customers, then we understand we've got to talk that through, and then you've got to actually probably get some more people involved as well. Who's got a question? Who's
You
that?
just have to come off silence, mute my free. wants to ask a question.
Yeah, she does. All right. We'll wait till she can.
Okay. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Vanessa. How are you?
Good.
Good. Welcome back. And what an amazing conference. I think my eyes are still open with toothpicks, but it was fantastic. Actually,
That's awesome.
had two doctors sitting with me that listened to the new machines,
Mhm.
about the new machine, and yeah, really, really happy. Look, just a comment and no reflection, and it comes from my heart. I have a stall in Carrara, and on yesterday I had two people come into the store that have been signed up with LifeWave by somebody at a market somewhere, I do know, and no reflection, that have never had a follow-up.
Yeah.
Came to me to ask me to show them their back office, which I took time for one of them, but I couldn't find the time for the other. They're not in my team. Please, can everybody please do their follow-up? There's no money in the sign-up. It's a follow-up.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
it
the
is.
follow-up. So just know
Yeah.
that my little stall in Carrara, two random people who I've never met, but saw my LifeWave banner, walked in and said, I'm, and actually, I actually sold that lady a pack of 39s. And when she goes back and reorders, she's going to bring them back to me. She's not on my team. So please, if we're signing them up, treat them, put them in cotton wool like they're a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
it broke my
Yeah.
heart to think that they had been signed up with somebody, never heard from them again.
Yeah, it's great comment, great feedback. And we have a stall too at a markets, and we are often like there actually to support a whole bunch of people, whether they're in our team or now that LifeWave's really picking up momentum. And absolutely, they might even be in a team. And if they're in our WhatsApp or our Facebook, you can private message that person. If you know who signed them up, Diana, more than happy for you to do that. Second, what we have in the Google document right now, the Google Drive, I actually have a sequence of nurtured text messages that are a customer support strategy for people. If you haven't seen that over in the Google Drive, I'm happy to quickly show it to you. But if we go to the Drive over here, you want to say something?
Yeah, and just to answer that as well. So you put yourself back on mute, whoever that is, just because, thank you.
Yeah.
I think to answer that as well is there are new people in this that are working on it.
So new.
Some people are great at the front end and they're having to develop their follow-up back end. So this is one of the big reasons why we're doing these three individual groups, basically not to senior director, because we want our senior directors to be able to replicate this with their teams on how to follow up. And the money is in the follow-up. At the end of the day, people want to build. For me, I hate wasting time. Our numbers are all moving forwards. I don't want to waste a bit of it. So for people to understand that you buy time back by training and replicating this with people, it actually is a benefit to them and a benefit to you. So it's a great call, really Diana. Good. And we are working with definitely with our teams, but we just got to stay generous with it all, because there's always going to be new people in this business too.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's great. So it's a great actually prompt for you as leaders. Again, if you do not have this Google Drive downloaded, you won't be duplicating anything. And so it's really important that you do have this Google Drive downloaded, and then you'll be able to start to work through. Again, I'll be cleaning it up today because over the last 5 weeks, there's been so much momentum, new countries jumping on board. I just wanted to make sure time zones are good. For even our information. But if you go onto the LifeWave team resources, it's not even in a folder yet. The first month nurturing, I call them a patching partner because they're not a business partner yet. But here is where you can actually take and copy what they need day one, what they get a few days later. And what the whole purpose of this is, you're nurturing their belief. More than anything, they need that nurture of belief to actually continue to trust the technology when they don't see it working. And that's the big thing that is really important in this patching process, is that they could take up to 90 days minimum to get a response, which is why I love that the company doesn't even let us sell less than 90 days now, so people make that commitment. So these are the ways, and what we learned and were modeled is you don't just sit on these opportunity calls when you've got a guest. You sit on them to learn. You hear a new story, you learn language, you get your people involved, even your customers, even if they're never building a business, you say, would you like to be on a testimony call with us, so you can start to hear what the patch is doing for people. And then you basically, it's all here. So read through that. And again, if you have feedback on it, we're so open to feedback, what's feeling like it's working, especially as a leader. Like
100%.
if you're doing this and you're in action and you have feedback on these kind of documents, tell us, because what's working, we want to tweak for everyone. So we don't want to just feel like we know it all, have it all, because we don't. So these documents are there for you.
And can I just say one thing that we don't talk a lot about, which we encourage, is if, as you're building this, and really you could do quite easily a lot of this up to about senior director, but find someone, whether it be spouse, partner, friend, somebody in your world, like what Tessa or SPD did with Misha. Find someone as you build this business that a lot of the time, like Tessa, Misha was her downline, that you connect with someone with a different strength than yours, and look at how you leverage those strengths together. So the reason why we're all here is because Tessa leveraged her strength with Misha, who's totally opposite to her, and they've built a massive organization from a country town called Mudgee because they leveraged. And I just really felt to encourage some of you to look at, so Vanessa and I, we leverage each other's strengths in this. I need to understand it all. I need to know about it all, but I don't need to be, a 10 out of 10 of it all. She works with where her strength is. I work with mine, and then we cross in the middle. And we'll even add people in our team, and we do leverage some of those other people in our team to do certain things that they're great at, because it builds the greater whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'd encourage you, when you're just getting started, you don't need that necessarily. But as you bring other people through, look for someone that you think, hey, because you're not giving anything up. You're both benefiting by maybe working together. So if you're not great on follow-up, but someone on your team or close to you think is better at that, maybe work out a way to work together, and you help them with the leadership side or whatever your strength could be to really leverage this moving forwards.
Awesome.
Could be, we saw it modeled with Tessa, and I just think it's also for some,
Mm-hmm.
could be something to really think about as well. You don't need it, but it just could help.
Can I ask a question, guys?
Yeah, go Lisa.
Hi, I'm at the bus stop. I quit my job this morning and now I've got to find my way home. I haven't been on public transport for years.
I love you are stepping out, Lisa. It's huge.
I'm just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm getting off the hamster wheel. God's going to provide. I've got to step out in faith. So I've done it.
She's going to do the same program we did this year with the government.
Oh,
and then
great.
this, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Not going to be in fear of money anymore. Ridiculous. Anyway,
Awesome.
my question is, and I just really appreciate what you just said then, because I think with the strengths, like with Kim and I, she's like really good at talking to people. We used to be in A1 together. She used to blow me away. She'd go up and talk to anyone. And my strengths are like, having a medical background in holistic medicine. I know a fair bit about, the human body and that. So I think that would work really well for us. So that's super exciting. But my question is going back to the previous lady. So I think I spoke to you briefly about it last night in a message. I signed up my friend Dee, who signed up her friend Lee under her. And Lee, they both don't want to build a business. They work for a Enagic. So Lee sent out a link to a friend who showed interest in the patches. He signed himself up through her link. And now he's kind of just like left floundering. And he wants to be a business builder. So is there any way of like being able to bring him up under sort of us, or is he sort of safe where he is, as long as I can just keep. I had him on this call today as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so I want to nurture him. I ended up finding him because she sent me a message and said, look, Matthew's struggling. He wants to know this, wants to know that. So I got his number off her, and we've sort of been communicating by email and text message. He's a FIFO. But yeah, he's kind of left out on the left wing, floundering.
Yeah, I mentioned to you last night, and I love that you bring that up, and we can wrap it up with this thought. What Tessa taught us is reach down beyond anyone that's just patching into someone curious and someone that says, I want to share. And so what you need to do to that obviously is get people's permission. But see, in your back office under personally enrolled and then your team, you do have access to some of those people. Now, the honor of that is always check with the person that introduced them, but it doesn't matter where they are in your binary system. When they start to run, that volume's going to totally impact you, completely like bless and impact everyone in your organization. The only thing you missed out on by enrolling them yourself is the product introduction bonus. Everything else you will benefit from. You'll benefit from 20% of their cycle bonuses. You'll benefit from so much. And trust me, when that person runs, the person above them might actually get in action. And so don't have a mindset that, I didn't personally enroll them. Of course, Tess is like, oh, I wish I personally enrolled you, like to us, because like she doesn't even get our cycle bonuses, right? Like the matching bonuses. But you know what, when we just dream really big, which you guys as leaders are running, there's something called the elite, like when you get to senior presidential director and then elite. And if you've created in your downlines 6 senior presidential directors in your downlines, then you become an elite. So that could be one of what we call your downlines. Like we're one of Tessa's like inside legs that we're going to help her get to elite. So you're always they're part of your team.
And my suggestion would be is just speak to that person who enrolled them.
Yeah, she
and
did. Yeah.
I know.
Sorry.
And you ask them, how much do you want to support them?
Yeah.
And if not, then I'm happy to support them. And anyone else you want to bring on board, instead of just sending a link, why don't I do that for you? Because that person will still get the introductory bonus, but then you control, for want of a better word, the process of where the best place is for that person. And then you bring them in again, all the systems we have, and this is it, team. You just
Well,
bring
that's
them
what I offered her, and she jumped at it. So we're like Matthew and I are in direct contact now. So I just said, look, I'm happy to look after him and show him direction because he actually wants the business deal. So another freedom fighter. So
I love it. It's amazing.
All
and
right.
Then
awesome.
last
Thanks, guys.
strategy on that, and then
Pleasure.
we'll stop the recording of this, and if those that are directors moving towards senior directors want to stay on, we can just have a quick strategy chat there. There's a few differences. What I do want to say about that as well is Steve and Gina say, do not, like in other businesses, don't plug people in under people just to get them to manager. Anyone that you have had personal contact with, personally enroll, unless again it's just that it's a family strategy that you're doing. He said never give away personally enrolled to help someone else become manager, because you actually don't know who in that group is going to run, and you don't know if that person has not made a commitment yet to the business and really to sharing. You don't want to plug anyone into them. Now obviously that happened for you, Lisa, but it's a good example of why in other structures you're often plugging people right in underneath like downlines, but in this one just personally enroll anyone that you can, and when you can't, just do what we're talking about, reach down and support them. Okay, last thing I want to say around director to some of you, because I know some of where you're at, you've made manager, which is incredible, amazing, but now you need to make these 2 managers, but in the meantime, the balance of your time is in don't stop sharing yourself, because you actually need 3 on each side active to be director. So that's minimum. And then also you're going to end up wanting 20 and 20 on each side. So
needs to
really
be
you just
minimum.
want to keep going, but it's the balance now of time for you, supporting others and still building your own business with personally enrolled. So just when you have a goal, when those people's goal was 5, 5 and 5, what you want to also have a goal is who are you going to, it might not be 5 for now, it might be that you can just go 3 a day for yourself and make managers. Trust me, the making managers is where the money is, but the onboarding other people is where the momentum comes in for you. So just keep that in mind as well.
Thanks
So-
so much. We're going to have directors and above next. And we look forward. Hopefully this has been helpful. We'll see you on Thursday